Welcome back to Patriot Network TV. I want to urge you to go to the website, to look at the videos, and even though I've been off the air for a while because of health issues, we are still putting together up-to-date, informative sessions. So please go to Patriot Network TV, watch, refer it to your friends, put it on your email list, keep us going. We're trying to keep going. You help us out. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the massive misinformation about Hurricane Sandy. And I wanted to do this in a very simple perspective. I didn't see, and please email me if you did, but I didn't see a single person in New York, New Jersey, anywhere on the East Coast. I didn't see them lining up to get solar panels after Hurricane Sandy. I didn't see them lining up to get windmills. You know what I saw them line up for? I saw them line up to get gas and diesel generators. And then I saw them line up to get gasoline and diesel fuel. Now, you might ask yourself, if we can go, and what's the Sierra Club phrases, beyond coal, beyond oil, okay? If we can really do that, if that could really be done and it was that easy to do, wouldn't the people who were displaced by Hurricane Sandy, wouldn't they have been bright enough and in desperate enough stakes to go, oh, don't give me that horrible gasoline generator, I want a solar panel. Oh, give me a windmill. The wind will blow, I'm right on the ocean. We just had a hurricane with 100-mile-an-hour winds, I want a windmill. Nobody lined up for wind turbines. Nobody lined up for solar panels. They lined up for gas and diesel generators. And if you've watched the news over the past few weeks, they're lining up for gasoline, they're lining up for diesel, they're rationing on the basis of odd-numbered plates get to buy their gas on one day and even-numbered plates gets to buy their gas on another day. Were you alive in 1979? When I was in California in 1979, if you had a California plate with an even number, you got gas on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. If you had an odd number, you got Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Sunday was reserved for only out-of-state plates could get gasoline. Now, of course, there was a huge black market selling license plates from out of state, which people pulled in. You know, they pulled off the road 2 blocks away from the gas station, put on the plate, pulled in, filled up, switched plates, drove away. But that's a separate story. If you were alive in 1979 and saw this happen before, or if you were alive in 1973 and saw the first Arab oil embargo and saw oil go from $3 a barrel to $9 a barrel, 1979 it goes from 9 to 27, you already saw this rationing, this standing in line, this waiting for gasoline. Now, in President Obama's first term, gasoline went from $1.80 to $3.76 a gallon. If we get the same increase in his second term, it'll go from $3.76 a gallon to $7.50, $7.60 a gallon. Surprisingly, what did his energy secretary, Secretary Chu, what did he say? If we were paying between $8 and $10 a gallon for gas, that would be a good thing. Don't expect anything different than that. The policy of this administration is to make gasoline as expensive here as it is in Europe. The policy of this administration is to destroy the productivity of this country by making energy so expensive that no one can afford it. Remember what candidate Obama said, under my policy, the price of electricity will necessarily skyrocket. Well, driving gasoline 200% higher, I kind of think that's the skyrocket. But let's look at this Hurricane Sandy situation, and let's ask ourselves a couple of questions. For at least 10 days before Hurricane Sandy, the only story on the news was there's a bad hurricane coming. Then, after 10 days of telling people there's a bad hurricane coming, the hurricane came. Now, I don't know about you, but if there's a giant bully heading toward me to beat me up, and I get 10 days worth of notice, the bully's not going to get to beat me up. I'll board up the house and leave. He can punch the 2x4s, punch the plywood, but I won't be there. Or if I am there, I'll be fully prepared to make it. Some of you doubtlessly watch our friend Bill O'Reilly. And if you saw Bill O'Reilly the day after Sandy hit, he was furious because he dropped, you know, some amount of money, 10,000 bucks, 20,000 bucks, whatever it was, to put in a generating system that would kick in when the electricity went out. And what happened? It didn't work. Now, you might ask yourself, if you write a check for 20,000 to put in a propane or gasoline generator to run your house and provide electricity, might you have tried it before the hurricane hit? Just an idea. I want you to seriously ask yourself, was Sandy, quote unquote, the superstorm, was it that devastating? Current numbers are 50 people dead. That was the most recent number that I saw. In any given day in New Jersey and New York, between the two of them, you're going to kill in traffic accidents and crimes 50 to 75 people. They lost over a 2-day period 50. So as near as I can tell, they're 100 lives ahead. You know, this is what's called engaging in a process of statistical murder. If you put 8 million people onto the island of Manhattan and take them off the island of Manhattan, 1 or 2 of them are going to get killed. Accidents on the freeway, accidents on the subway, they'll be mugged, they'll die of a heart attack, they'll drug overdose, whatever it is. There are a certain number of people dying every day in America. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news and tell you this. 50 for New York and New Jersey is nothing. It's less than normally would die. So you could argue that Sandy saved lives by keeping people off the freeways, out of the subways, and in safer situations. I want you, every time your environmentalist friends say to you, oh, you know, global warming caused this. First of all, there's absolutely no evidence that there's any relationship between CO2 and hurricanes. And the hurricane season is much lower as CO2 has gone up rather than down. I'll do two or three episodes on this later. But when your friends say, oh, you know, global warming this, global warming that, Sandy's, you know, the cause of it. It's an extreme weather event. That's the new phrase. Just keep in mind, if it was true, they would have lined up for solar panels and windmills. What did they line up for? They lined up for gas generators, gasoline, and diesel. God bless this country. God bless our reserves of gas and oil. And God bless the people who are bright enough to use them.